Your biggest competitor isn't who you think it is. It's not the company you're watching. It's not the industry leader everyone talks about. It's the startup you've never heard of, the one building in silence right now, the one that will blindside your entire industry in 18 months. And by the time you notice them, it's too late. They've already won. Today, I'm showing you how to identify your real competition before they become a threat, how to see around corners, how to spot emerging players while they're still small enough to counter. This isn't paranoia, this is survival. Let's begin. Most entrepreneurs make a fatal mistake. They define competition too narrowly. They look at who's doing exactly what they're doing and call that the competition. We're a CRM, so Salesforce is our competitor. We're ride-sharing, so Uber is our competitor. This is strategic blindness, because the company that will kill you probably isn't doing what you're doing today. They're doing something adjacent, something that looks unrelated until suddenly it's not, and you're extinct. Let me give you a real example. Blockbuster thought their competition was other video rental stores, Hollywood Video, local rental shops. They optimized for beating those competitors, better locations, more inventory, loyalty programs. Meanwhile, a little DVD by mail company called Netflix was building something completely different. Not better video rental, a different model entirely. Blockbuster didn't see Netflix as a threat until Netflix had already built the infrastructure to destroy them. By the time Blockbuster tried to respond, Netflix had moved to streaming. Game over. Here's another one. Taxi companies thought their competition was other taxi companies, so they fought over regulated territories and medallion prices. Meanwhile, Uber and Lyft built apps that didn't look like taxi companies at all. They looked like tech companies. By the time taxi companies realized Uber was their real competition, Uber had tens of millions of users and billions in funding. Taxis never caught up. They're still trying to recover. This pattern repeats across every industry. Kodak thought their competition was Fuji. Meanwhile, digital cameras killed them both. Nokia thought their competition was Motorola. Meanwhile, iPhone redefined what a phone could be. The lesson is clear. Your real competition isn't the company doing exactly what you do. It's the company solving the same problem from a completely different angle. And if you can't identify them early, you lose. So how do you actually identify your real competition before they become unstoppable? There are three types of competitors you need to monitor: direct competitors, indirect competitors, and future competitors. Most people only watch the first type. Winners watch all three. Let me break them down. Direct competitors are the obvious ones. Companies doing exactly what you do. Same product, same market, same customers. If you're Coke, Pepsi is a direct competitor. If you're Nike, Adidas is a direct competitor. These are easy to identify. You're already watching them. The problem is direct competitors rarely kill you. You see them coming, you can respond, you adapt. The real threats are the other two types. Indirect competitors are companies solving the same customer problem, but with a different solution. They don't look like competitors at first, but they're stealing your customers without you realizing it. Example: if you run a gym, your direct competitors are other gyms, but your indirect competitors are Peloton, home workout apps, YouTube fitness channels, meal delivery services. These companies don't compete with you directly, but they're all solving the same problem your customer has. I want to get fit. If someone buys a Peloton, they're not buying your gym membership. You lost that customer to an indirect competitor. Most gym owners don't track Peloton as competition. That's why they're losing. Another example: if you're a bookstore, your direct competitor is another bookstore, but your indirect competitor is Netflix, Audible, YouTube, video games, anything competing for your customers' leisure time. When someone watches Netflix instead of reading, you lost, but you're not tracking Netflix as a competitor because they don't sell books. This is why traditional bookstores died. They didn't see Amazon coming because Amazon started with books, but was really building something bigger: convenience, selection, speed. Amazon wasn't a better bookstore. They were a different solution to "I want something to read." So how do you identify indirect competitors? Ask yourself this question: what problem am I actually solving for my customer? Not what product am I selling? What underlying need am I fulfilling? Then look at every other way that need could be fulfilled.
Those are your indirect competitors. If you sell coffee, you're not just competing with other coffee shops, you're competing with energy drinks, tea, productivity apps, anything that solves "I need energy to work." If someone drinks Red Bull instead of your coffee, they chose an indirect competitor. Track them. Now the most dangerous type, future competitors. These are companies that don't compete with you today, but will in the future. They're building in adjacent markets, different industries, different customer bases, but they have the capability, resources, and strategic incentive to move into your market. And when they do, they'll crush you because they're bigger, better funded, and already have distribution. Amazon is the ultimate future competitor. They started in books, but they had the infrastructure and ambition to enter every market: grocery, cloud computing, streaming, logistics. If you're in any market Amazon could enter, they're your future competitor, even if they're not there yet. Tesla is a future competitor to every car company, but also to energy companies, utilities, even real estate through solar panels and battery systems. Tesla isn't just a car company, they're an energy and automation company that happens to make cars. Anyone in those industries ignoring Tesla as a future competitor will regret it. So how do you identify future competitors before they enter your market? Look for 3 characteristics. First, adjacent capabilities. Do they have technology, infrastructure, or expertise that could be applied to your market? If yes, they're a potential future competitor. Second, strategic incentive. Does entering your market make sense for their long-term vision? If yes, they'll come eventually. Third, resources to execute. Do they have the capital, talent, and distribution to actually do it? If yes, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Example: if you run a local delivery service, your future competitor isn't another local delivery service, it's Amazon. They have logistics infrastructure, they have customer data, they have infinite capital, and they have strategic incentive to own last-mile delivery. Even if Amazon isn't in your city today, they're your future competitor. Plan accordingly. If you're in payments, your future competitor is Apple and Google. They have hundreds of millions of users. They control the device. They have the infrastructure. Payments fit their ecosystem strategy. They will enter. It's inevitable. If you're not preparing for that, you're already losing.
Now here are 5 signals that a new threat is emerging. Signal 1. Sudden funding announcements. When a startup in your space raises a massive round, they just became dangerous. Not because the idea is good, because they now have resources to execute at scale. Track funding announcements in your industry. Any company that raises 10 million plus is a threat, even if they're small today. Money buys speed. Speed wins wars. Signal 2. Key hires from dominant players. When a startup hires executives from Google, Amazon, Facebook, or other giants, they're getting serious. Those executives bring networks, expertise, and credibility. They're leveling up fast. If you see a competitor hiring senior talent from industry leaders, they're preparing for war. Signal 3. Strategic partnerships announced. When a startup partners with a major platform or distributor, they just gained leverage you don't have. Distribution is everything. If they partner with someone who has your customers, they can scale faster than you can. Track partnership announcements, they're early warning signals. Signal 4. Geographic expansion. When a competitor starts expanding to new markets aggressively, they're building momentum. More markets means more data. More data means better product. Better product means they come back to your market stronger. Don't ignore competitors just because they're not in your city yet. They're learning and they're coming. Signal 5. Product launches outside their core. When a company in your adjacent space launches a product that moves closer to what you do, that's a future competitor becoming a present competitor. Amazon went from books to everything. Uber went from rides to food delivery. Netflix went from DVDs to streaming to content production. Each step was a signal. Most competitors didn't see it coming. You need to. So now you know the 3 types of competitors. You know the 5 signals. How do you actually track all this? You build a competitive intelligence system. This doesn't need to be complicated. Simple is better. Here's the framework. Step 1. Create 3 lists: direct competitors, indirect competitors, future competitors. Write down every company in each category. Be comprehensive. If you're not sure whether someone belongs on a list,
add them. It's better to over-track than under-track. Step 2. Set up Google alerts for every company on your lists. You want to know immediately when they raise funding, hire key people, launch products, or announce partnerships. Google Alerts is free. Set it up today. Step 3. Follow their social media. LinkedIn for hiring signals, Twitter for announcements, Instagram for product launches. You're not stalking, you're gathering intelligence. This is business warfare. Information is power. Step 4. Subscribe to their newsletters and try their products. You need to understand what they're building from a customer perspective. Sign up for their service, use their product, understand their strategy from the inside. Many companies reveal their roadmap through product updates. Pay attention. Step 5. Monitor industry news and trend reports, new technologies, regulatory changes, market shifts. These all create opportunities for new competitors to emerge. If you're not watching macro trends, you'll miss the big moves. Read industry blogs, follow thought leaders, stay informed. Step 6. Talk to your customers. Ask them what alternatives they're considering, what other products they're trying, where else they're spending money. Your customers will tell you who your real competition is if you ask. Most entrepreneurs never ask. They assume they know. They're wrong. Step 7. Review your competitive intelligence monthly. Set a recurring calendar event. First Monday of every month, review all 3 competitor lists. Update the lists, note new threats, identify patterns. This becomes your early warning system. 15 minutes a month could save your business. Now here's the key insight most people miss. Identifying competition isn't about paranoia, it's about strategic awareness. You're not trying to copy competitors. You're not trying to react to every move they make. You're simply trying to understand the landscape so you can position yourself correctly. When you know who your real competitors are, you can make better strategic decisions. Should you build this feature? Depends on what your competitors are building. Should you enter this market? Depends on who's already there and who's coming. Should you raise funding? Depends on how well funded your competitors are. Every strategic decision becomes clearer when you have accurate competitive intelligence. But here's what you don't do. Don't obsess over competitors. Don't let competitive intelligence turn into competitive paranoia. Some entrepreneurs spend so much time watching competitors that they forget to build their own product. That's how you lose. You watch competitors to stay informed, but you focus on your customers to win. Your customers don't care about your competitors. They care about their problems being solved. If you solve those problems better than anyone else, you win. Simple. So, here's your action plan. In the next 48 hours, do this. Create your 3 competitor lists: direct, indirect, future. Write down every company in each category. Set up Google alerts for the top 5 in each category. That's 15 alerts total. This takes 10 minutes. Follow your top competitors on LinkedIn and Twitter. This takes 5 minutes. Try your top direct competitor's product. Sign up, use it, understand what they're doing right and wrong. This takes 30 minutes. That's it. 45 minutes of work gives you a competitive intelligence system that most entrepreneurs never build, and that system could save your business. Because here's the brutal truth. Your biggest competitor is building right now. They're not waiting, they're not resting, they're executing while you sleep. And if you don't know who they are, how can you possibly compete? You can't. You're fighting blind, and blind fighters lose. But now you know how to see. You know the 3 types of competitors. You know the 5 signals. You know the 7-step tracking system. You have no excuse. Build your competitive intelligence system today, not tomorrow, today. Next week, we're going deeper. Monday begins Business Warfare Month. 4 weeks of tactical strategies for dominating competitive markets. Week 1, we're covering battlefield strategy, how to position yourself for victory before the fight even starts. Week 2, tactical weapons, the specific moves that destroy competition. Week 3, case studies, how Amazon, Uber, and Apple actually fought and won their wars. Week 4, building unbeatable positions, how to make yourself impossible to compete with. 12 videos, complete education in business warfare. This is not theory, this is how wars are actually won. Comment below which competitor you just realized you weren't tracking. Be honest, we all have blind spots. Naming them is the first step to fixing them. Subscribe and hit the bell. Business Warfare Month starts Monday. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You miss one episode, you miss critical strategy. This is how you dominate markets. This is how you identify threats before they become unstoppable. This is Dominate Daily. Now go build your competitive intelligence system. The war is already happening. The only question is whether you see it coming. Dominate Daily.